From translation, TLB the Living Bible this 146th day of the year. Today we are reading passages, Nehemiah chapter 7, verses 1 to 73. When the wall was finished, and I had installed the doors, the guards and the singers were appointed to their posts, as commanded by David and his son Solomon. I appointed my brother Hanani and Hananiah, the commander of the fortress, to be in charge of Jerusalem, for he was a man of integrity and feared God more than most. I instructed them, do not open the gates of Jerusalem until the sun is hot. While the guards are on duty, have the doors locked and bolted. Also, appoint citizens as guards from among the residents of Jerusalem, some at their posts and some near their own homes. The city was large and spacious, but there were few people in it, and the houses had not yet been rebuilt. Then God put it into my heart to assemble the leaders, the officials, and the common people for registration by families. I found the genealogical record of those who had first returned to Judah. Here is the list of the returned exiles: Zerubbabel son of Shealtiel, and Jeshua son of Jozadak, and their fellow Israelites. Seraiah, Jeremiah, Ezra, Amariah, Malach, Hattush, Shebaniah, Harim, Meremoth, Iddo, Ginnethan, Abijah, Mijamin, Marziah, Bilgah, Shimei, Rehum, Baanah. The descendants of Parosh, 2172. The descendants of Shephatiah, 372. The descendants of Arah, 652. The descendants of Pahath Moab, through the line of Jeshua and Joab, 2818. The descendants of Elam, 1254. The descendants of Zattu, 845. The descendants of Zakkai, 760. The descendants of Bani, 648. The descendants of Babai, 628. The descendants of Azgad, 2322. The descendants of Adonikam, 666. The descendants of Bigvai, 2056. The descendants of Adin, 454. The descendants of Ater through Hezekiah, 98. The descendants of Hashem, 328. The descendants of Bezai, 324. The descendants of Hariph, 112. The descendants of Jibon, 95. The men of Bethlehem and Netophah, 188. The men of Anathoth, 128. The men of Beth Asmaveth, 42. The men of Kiriath Jearim, Kephirah and Beeroth, 743. The men of Ramah and Jebah, 621. The men of Michmash, 122. The men of Bethel and Ai, 123. The men of the other Nebo, 52. The descendants of the other Elam, 1,254. The descendants of Harim, 320. The descendants of Lod, Hadid and Ono, 725. The descendants of Jericho, 345. The descendants of Senah, 3630. The priests: Jediah through the family of Jeshua, 973. The descendants of Immer, 1052. The descendants of Pashhur, 1247. The descendants of Harim, 1017. The Levites: Jeshua son of Azaniah through the line of Merari, 288. The singers: Asaph son of Berechiah, the descendants of Asaph. The gatekeepers: Shallum, Akub, Talmon, Ahiman and their relatives. Shallum was the chief. The other Levites: the descendants of Joiarib, 172. The descendants of Gershon, 212. The descendants of Merari, 152. The temple servants: the descendants of Ziha, 392. The descendants of Hassapha, 223. The descendants of Tabiot, 608. The descendants of Keros, 621. The descendants of Siaha, 345. The descendants of Padon, 361. The descendants of Lebana, 325. The descendants of Hagaba, 223. The descendants of Shalmai, 97. The descendants of Hanan, 132. The descendants of Giddel, 101. The descendants of Shephatiah, 95. The descendants of Hattil, 180. The descendants of Jibon, 95. Among the descendants of the priests were the descendants of Habiah, Hakkoz, and Barzillai, who had married a daughter of Barzillai the Gileadite and was named after him. These searched for their family records, but they could not be found, so they were considered ceremonially unclean and excluded from the priesthood. The governor ordered them not to eat the special food of the priests until there should be a priest to consult Urim and Thummim. The total number of the exiles was 42,360. In addition to their male and female servants, who numbered 7,337, and their 245 male and female singers, they had 736 horses, 245 mules, and 435 camels. For their various gifts, they contributed 744 gold coins and 44 silver coins. The priests and Levites and some of the people, the temple servants and the singers, who lived in other towns, contributed to the work. The governor gave 1,000 gold coins, 50 bowls, and 530 robes for the priests. And some of the leaders of the people gave 20,000 gold coins and 22 silver coins to the treasury for the temple. The rest of the people gave 20,000 gold coins, 2,000 silver coins, and 67 robes for the priests. The priests, Levites, gatekeepers, singers, and temple servants, along with some of the common people, settled in their own towns throughout the province of Judah. When the 7th month arrived, the people of Israel were in their towns.